Hi, Lenny Rudow here for BoatUS Magazine. And today we welcome Mike McCook. Mike has been with the BoatUS Catastrophe Team since 1983.
That's right.
And whenever there's a hurricane disaster or something like that going on along the coast, BoatUS sends its team of surveyors like Mike to go check everything out. People, I'm here to tell you, nobody knows more than Mike about what to do and not to do when it comes to boats and hurricanes. But what we're here to talk about today is how to choose a marina regarding hurricanes.
You need to look for a couple of things. One, you want a marina that doesn't appear to be deteriorated, decrepit, or otherwise on its last legs. That's just a visual common sense thing. You walk out the dock, you look at the cleats that are attached to the dock, you look at the pilings, you look at the bolts. If it's not bolted, it's just nailed together, or the cleats aren't through bolted. These are not good signs. Try to go to a place that has a hurricane plan already in mind for them. If they have a plan, you know they have it on their mind, and they've hopefully kept the marina in condition that could withstand a storm that otherwise might be disastrous. A marina should be well situated.
What do you mean well situated?
Well, look around. Is there a breakwater? Is the breakwater high enough? Is it in an area that's surrounded by hills or something physical barrier that will protect it? Is it way up in a protected cove or up a creek or up a river someplace where it's out of the windage and may have less of a chance, or maybe I should say more of a chance, for any surge tide to dissipate, so it's not quite so bad there. So use your eyes, use your senses, and use your common sense. If it doesn't look good, it probably isn't.
Now, if a marina takes a direct hit from a hurricane, there's going to be damage no matter what, right?
That's correct. Well, one of the things that I've seen, if pilings aren't in good condition, they break, or they snap off it, or they get pulled out of the mud line, or they twist, or the bolts fall out, or worse, they're corroded and fall apart. So you want to make sure that the pilings are in good condition, because that's going to show you that you need to pay attention to what you do. Don't tie your boat to a rotten piling.
Now, we hear a lot about having your boat hauled out if a hurricane's coming. Are boats really safer up on shore?
One word, yes. They are. They're probably above the surge tide 90% of the time. If you take the sails and canvas and covers off the boat, you've reduced the windage. If they're blocked properly, chained together, chained to the ground if possible, then you're so much better to be assured there's no better way to protect a boat.
You know what I've always wondered, Mike? If your boat has to stay in the water, is it better to have fixed pilings or a floating dock?
I think floating docks are much better, assuming that the pilings are high enough to accommodate any surge tide. I've seen this more than once in storms where entire marinas have come up all over the pilings and floated off it to the beach someplace or broke it up. So it's important that the pilings be high enough to come. How high is high enough? It's a good question. We can never predict exactly how high the surge tide will ever get, but I think a good rule of thumb is 8 to 10 feet above the normal high tide of your given marina.
Now, can a boat be successfully tied up securely on a fixed dock?
Well, certainly boats have made it through storms tied to fixed docks. It's important that they be tied properly, and I believe that you have a video.
Absolutely, yeah. Folks, if you head over to our YouTube channel and look at the hurricane playlist, you can find a video on how to properly secure your boat for a hurricane. Now, wait a minute, we haven't even talked at all about dry stack stowage.
Well, dry stacks are a great thing, and dry stacks are a good place to put your boat, assuming that it was built to a standard to withstand a hurricane. Many of the older ones were never built to that standard, or they were built to a standard of lower wind velocity. And it's really old. The anchors, the anchor bolts that hold the whole building down can be deteriorated. The structure itself can be in some way deteriorated. Let's face it, they're pretty much a tin building sitting up on steel structures. Not a bad structure, but make sure it's in good condition, make sure it was built to withstand a hurricane, and also make sure that there's a plan at that facility for what to do if the building comes down. Who's going to get the boats out? Where are they going to go? How are they going to deal with them? We had a particularly bad boatel collapse during a hurricane down in Texas this past year, and it was months before we got the boat out because the marina just didn't cooperate.
Now, earlier you mentioned a breakwater. Just how important is it to have a breakwater outside your marina?
Very. It could be a floating breakwater, or it could be a fixed breakwater of stone. Fixed breakwaters have a tendency to, obviously, they have a fixed height. A big surge and the water will come over the breakwater. Floating breakwaters probably serve a little better purpose, assuming they're built to hurricane standards. They have a large tongue that goes down in the water that helps knock down the energy. So look for that, but if you're in a well-protected area, it's not essential. But if you're in an open area or an area that you can look out and you can see the open water, we say a big fetch, then you really want to look for a breakwater.
You know, Mike, if I keep my boat in a marina, I pay a bunch of money for my slip, can't I just leave it to the marina to look after my boat?
No, unfortunately you can't. It's your responsibility, and you need to take whatever action necessary to protect your property. There certainly are hurricane clubs that are out there that some people, they usually focus on making sure you're in the queue to get hauled and blocked ashore as opposed to coming out and babysitting your boat. Some hurricane clubs have programs like that, but pretty few and far between. So no, it's your responsibility. Take that responsibility and protect your property.
So tell me, Mike, if I'm looking at a marina and they're going to haul my boat, which is better? If it has a gravel parking lot or asphalt, does it make a difference?
Sure it does. You don't want dirt, mud, or something that's not going to be solid. You want to have a paved facility, whether it be asphalt or concrete. If for some reason your marina is packed gravel, make sure that they put, pads underneath of the jack stand to spread that load a little bit so they don't sink. We've had more than one boat that have fallen over because the stands have sunk in soft soil. So, gravel, dirt, not such a good idea. Asphalt, okay. Concrete, better. Tie down dead men, even best.
Wow, that's great info, Mike. Thank you so much. Well, folks, we hope you found this video helpful. If you feel like it, click on that like button below. Don't forget to leave us comments. If you have any questions, we will answer them. And of course, check out the other videos in our hurricane playlist.